Why, hello, good people of the internet. Where it's time for assembly, where we code, let's code AI together. I'm Drekken, and I am excited to be back for another Monday where we build an AI that wins. Man, I'm a little bit of late start. I'm actually a lot of late start, and I'm gonna level with you how this goes out. Every time I get ready to start, for whatever reason, all my devices want to update, and when they update, like they hound me to update, and when they update, man, they break. And I always follow this rule. I've been doing events and all sorts of live stuff for years, and the rule is never to update before doing a show. But the problem is sometimes, and it seems to be a lot with Elgato stuff, is that the actual products don't work unless you update. And I find that happens a lot with Elgato stuff, is that if you don't update, they actually stay broken. And that was what happened, and all my cameras stopped working, and I spent half an hour trying to fix it. So here we are today, trying to get this going. So, all right, so let's talk about what we're doing here today. We are working on the Protoss bot, Pigbot, which uses the Bronze CGM build framework of human players, and we're trying to build that into our bot. We've placed it onto the ladder for a bit, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Hopefully. Oh, camera's broken. See, everything is breaking. Let's see. Oh, man, I am having no luck today.
No luck at all. Anyways, let us get ready. Let's start coding. Will my cameras work?
Oh my god, nothing is working.
Note to self, cameras are broken. Why try it manually? One sec.
Man. No good. All right, well, that camera is no bueno.
Let's jump straight into that then. Actually, let me do we'll do a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. And I actually wanted the other camera to be working for this, but I guess it's not going to do that. And I don't know. Let's hold on. Okay. So what we're doing here, part of this session too that we get together is it's mob programming. We're coding together. There's couple ways we can do this coding together. You can be in the chat, part of the mob, or you join me if you're part of the community, part of my membership. You join me and we actually code together live, and we switch out, very much like pair programming. And it's a chance for us to be a little bit social and work together. I'm not gonna actually do the whole spiel. I'm gonna give you the summary. If you don't know mob programming, it's not you, it's me, it's us together. And one person is the pilot, the other person is the navigator, and we rotate. And then we have the mob, who's sort of like the overall navigator. If you're in the chat, that's you're the mob. But if you're in the membership, and I'm going to do exclamation mark join for that. If you're in the membership, then you are actually going to be a part of working with me. And we're going to be kind of chilling and coding together on this project. All right, let's just jump right into it because I am already running behind, and I do have a end date. Okay, here we are. This is where we left off. Let's start off as always with some looking at let's look at some of the replays. Actually, let's look at the stats. Let's look at the stats, how the bot did, how our little bot did, and we'll talk about the stats, and we'll just have a little bit of discussion. Can I just pull up the browser? Not so fast, hey? All right, let's see if I can just... Oh, maybe I will be so lucky. Did it show up? All right, so the browser's there. Oh, and then the browser's gone. Man, I was loving me today. Let's see if I can try this again. Nope. Aha, there we go. Okay, let's take a look at some of these stats. How the bot did. So we actually got a couple of wins here. Look at this. We got some wins here. We beat Harstem's Ant. We beat Quinn. We beat 49 Terrapin. Bot Tato. We beat Bot Tato, who crashed against us. Alexa. We lost a chance. We beat Shield. We beat Princess Mika. We beat a bunch of bots here. Let's see how we lost. We went against Han for 18 minutes, so that might be worth watching. Let's take a look at what happened here. Let's watch that battle against Han. We lost against Chance, 6 minutes. I'm gonna get, looks like something cheesy happened, but that's okay. And then let's choose Smoking Gunbot. That's 22 minutes. We lost to Smoking Gunbots in 22 minutes. So that's going to be worth watching. Let's pull up Smoking Gunbot because that has my curiosity. I'm super curious what happened there. One of the core things I want to get done today, and we'll see it shortly, hopefully. Why is this opening full screen? Oh my God. A new version of the game. Everybody wants to update today. What is going on? There's no reason for this to be full screen and to be covering me. Absolutely no reason. I mean, I guess I could have done a full screen with me on it, but I don't know. I don't think that's enjoyable. So we'll. Like, I was watching Cat Rock's stream the other day, and he does full screen when he does his replays and reviews. Maybe I could do a whole game screen where it's just the full game and we're just looking at the game screen. Who knows? Okay. These bots actually say good luck, have fun. Maybe I should say good luck to have fun. Okay, I think next time though I will do full screen. I did like Cat Rock's full screen view. Maybe I'll look into doing that. Okay, stuff happening pretty okay right now. I need to change these maps. I just realized my test maps are not the actual. These are the actual. These test maps are the. I'm not my test maps are not the ladder maps. Okay, so we're building. Let's kind of get an idea what's happening here. Let's slow it down a bit. So, whatever reason, that observer was silly and just got killed. Am I going to be without an observer for now? I'm really hoping that is not the case. I feel like, oh, no, there's the observer. Okay, so it really shouldn't, it should detect danger. Maybe that's something we have to make sure this observer is not doing something silly, because it shouldn't be. Jesus. Okay, we need to increase its danger sense because that's pretty damn silly. Okay, so there's this Reaper. Reaper has caught the attention of my units. Okay, juicy. I mean, this observer, how many times has this observer died? This has not caught. This is an interesting scenario because my threat detector this Reaper is wreaking havoc on my third right now, and my units are not making any attempt to stop him. Okay, but they are just gonna go and say fuck this guy in particular. They're going straight up to his base. We still lost this, weirdly enough. Where's the disruptor? Oh, there is a disruptor. So, okay, look at that. Oh, that disruptor was so good. How did we lose this? This is so good. This is good. Oh, this is so good. Yo, we wrecked this kid. I don't understand how we lost this. This is so good. We won. Girls, what is going on? We won. I don't understand how we lost. This is such a good, this is good. We won. I am so confused. Oh, okay. Oh, I can see how we lost. I see now. So our economy is struggling. Like, Jesus, okay. These Reapers are killing me. Like, they're cutting me off. Okay. So, first things first, econ is struggling. Okay, I see. Why we, okay, we shouldn't be attacking anymore. We should actually stop completely. For some reason, I guess we must think that we... Oh, okay, nope. Maybe they're not going anymore. They shouldn't. Okay, so are they... That's funny. Okay. Are we going back to our base? Is everyone deciding to go back, or what are we doing? They're regrouping, which is good, but we actually don't want to be attacking. Oh. So there's a couple of things I've learned from this, is that we need to fix the mechanism. Like they shouldn't be going anymore. Okay. This took way too long to stop. So I don't know, what am my guys evaluating? Why are they still coming and attacking? They shouldn't be attacking. They should actually leave, fully leave, and return back to the main base. Weird. Okay, maybe I don't need to watch this. I see this, why this took 22 minutes to lose. Okay, couple things we need to, let's add this. We're gonna add a couple goals here because yeah, that it's not ideal. So we're gonna add a couple goals. I'm gonna add to the goals list if it will be a good day. If so, we got that. And then the second thing is the second thing we want to do so we want to fix how we engage. No, why we engage the enemy is probably the best answer. Why do we engage the enemy? So we want to fix the logic on how we engage the enemy retreat if they're stronger. So we're going to do that. I'm going to add that as a logic add. And then the last one, which so retreat if they're stronger, add expansion logic. And then the last one should be, what else did we observe from that? Because we actually won that, and that was just very unfortunate, because if we just gathered together, we just smashed them. Oh, and tweak the logic for, I guess, if our base is under attack, logic, tweak the threat logic. Tweak the threat logic, because we want to have threat logics like if our base is taking damage, or if we're so we want to take the threat logics that if our base is taking damage, or this is really difficult because we don't want edge cases where our base is taking damage and it pulls us away. Maybe what we need to do is think of proportional responses. So if our base is taking damage, a portion of the army is taken and they're just maybe dealt with. Maybe that's the best solution, because what we just witnessed was our base took a crap ton of damage from. Actually, while we talk this through, let me pull up the next replay, and we'll let this load while we talk this through. So that was, I don't remember which bot that was. So let's do this one. So what we want though is we want that our bot is I don't want, you don't want to have a response that if Reapers are attacking your base, because that could be Reapers, it could be Zerglings. You want a really robust solution that handles if we're being harassed, right? You just want it if we're being harassed, if our bases are being harassed, but you don't want to send the whole army, because that is disproportional. You don't want to send the whole army. So perhaps maybe we should break off a piece of our army, a percentage of the army, and have them assess a solution. I would be remiss to commit to doing that today. I think doing that today would be not feasible, because yeah, we do want to be able to have a response that is proportionate. You don't want to send the whole army, but if if Reapers are harassing our base, you want to be able to respond to that. If your Reaper's coming, you don't want to send the whole army, but you want to send, hey, maybe send the equivalent of units to go and solve that problem. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Who's this? Oh, this is Chance. This could be freaking cheesy as fuck. I know it. Okay, no proxy. Oh, this guy's going mass Marines by the Matrix. So I guess actually I actually got it prepared for that. But wait, where are my units? Weird. So what happened here? What went wrong? Because we're building, but there are no units. And look at that, we have actually 2,000 minerals. What happened? Where did this go wrong? Something. Okay, so maybe we can understand let's slow this down and see what happened. Maybe we can understand what went wrong. Okay, so my cheese response. Okay, so what happened here is We saw that he wasn't expanding, and our cheese response. Okay, so we saw he wasn't expanding, and so we knew something cheesy was about to occur. So we canceled, and we started to build a response to it. Something didn't kick in. Okay, something didn't kick in. Something did not kick in. What is up with this? Where is he? Okay. So something did not kick in properly during the cheese response. And for whatever reason, this probe is not leaving. We're not expanding, we're not... Okay, this actually requires us to look at the logs. Something went wrong here. Let's pull up the logs and take a look at what happened here. Because that is not a normal response. We're actually gonna want to look at the logs here. Pull up these logs. Okay. So let's see what happened here. Something's up. It looks like it just broke. So Eris frame, so we finished it, and then it just stopped. I might have to just report back to Rasper, because it looks like it just gave up. Yeah, something looks off. Okay, let's investigate. That might be a quick fix or easy fix. Let's actually, so good news is our cheese build activated. So cheese reaction build activated. Okay, let's dig in. Let's start digging into this code. Combat. Cheese build, cheese build, cheese build. Let's open up combat. Macro, let's go into macro. So this is what we're going to be working on today, the actual time to expand. We need reaction as well. So we need reaction. So let's say cheese. That was the cheese response, right? So that was the cheese reaction. Okay. So it says marine rush detected. So that was right. So it said marine rush detected. And then it should say running build from YAML file cheese reaction build. Okay. So saw it, switch to cheese build order, switching to cheese reaction build, current build order, cancel fax expanding nexus if it started. We detected the cheese, that worked. If the flag, set this flag if the build order is completed. Okay, so we canceled it. That's right. Switched to cheese reaction build. Let's see what cheese reaction build looks like. Should be at the bottom. Cheese reaction build. So we built some pylons, some gateways. So we actually should maybe throw in here some stuff so that this build is a little robust. So we did pylons, gateways, zealots, shield batteries, zealots, pylons, gateways, warp gate research. I did not see warp gate research there. Wait. Where is the... Where is... Am I missing something here? Pylon. Did I... Is there no... Expand gas, warp gate research. Gateway, expand gas. Core. Is there no core? EEP, there's no core. How can you do warp gate research without the core? Uh-oh. Okay, so this is missing a core. So we need to add a cyber core in here. Where should cyber core be though? I'm gonna look up the Bronze GM. Actually, can I pull up the Bronze GM now? Bronze 2 GM. Okay, I have it. Cheese. Actually, I'll pull it up so you can see it as well. Oh, maybe I can I not pull it up easy? Okay, perfect. Stop probing at 20. Don't build Nexus. Second pylon. So actually, so that needs to stop. So constant worker production. We need to add constant worker production on this. So constant worker production until 20. Then what? So it goes pylon, gateway, core. Okay, we're missing the... Okay, so pylon, gateway, 17, core, at natural, battery on natural. So we did zealots, pump 2 zealots, then stalker, adepts, zealots. So with shield battery net thing, zealot, pylon at natural, gateway at natural. For a third pylon. Okay. So pylon, gateway, core. Shield battery. Maybe actually let's pull back up that replay and watch in slow-mo so we can actually get this down pack. So it's just so we have an understanding of how this build order was actually manifesting in real time. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, okay. Let's see how this manifested itself. And I have to, it's a little wonky. Oh, so we got to cancel. That's good. What are we at in terms of, so we're at 20. This is 20. So we actually should probably start this at, this is at 20. So let's say 20. Sure. So we're building 20. What's this? Oh, I did build the cyber core. Interesting. Is that why I didn't have the cyber core before? Let's pull up the, so it went pylon, gateway, chrono boost. Where's the second gateway though? So here it is. So it's a cheese reaction. And then it's like zealot shield battery. Weird. Configure opening from YAML, running build from cheese reaction. So maybe it looked and it's like, where are we? So then it's like 21 zealot, 23. Ah, yes. So it's like 21 zealot, 23 shield battery. So it automatically jumped. So we should actually start this a little bit later. So let's say 20 gateway, 20 pylon, 20 gateway, 20 core. So it went simulator, nexus, cancels the nexus. So let's just say 21, just in case. 21 gateway, 21 core, 21 zealot. Yeah, zealot. Okay, these are good. We'll do that. And then you kind of want to build. So it did 21 and did 20. It did 23 shield battery. So actually, let's go 23 shield battery. So 21 pylon, 21 gateway. Oh, you can't see that. So 21 zealot, 23 zealot, 23 shield battery. Probably should do that same thing for here. Zealot, pylon, gateway, warp gate research, pylon, chrono boost. Third pylon. Chrono gateway. We might have to test this. This might need some testing. And then we're also gonna want to build pump 2 zealots, then stalker, adepts, and zealots. So then 25 stalker. Actually, no, there's we should be switching to a cheese reaction build, actually. So let's go back here. So after it's built, cheese reaction completed. Our manager should actually get us into. So yeah, here it goes. Zealot, stalker, and adept. That's our cheese reaction build. Zealot, stalker, adept is where you want to be. Did we switch that when the time came? Did we switch that? Where's this cheese reaction build? Macro production controller, production build due to bank data, adding unit type gateway, income level will support this. Then it got broke a bit. I don't know why that did not work. Adding Cyber's core for High Templar. Yeah, something's wrong there. That's not supposed to be adding High Templar. You don't want to do High Templar right now. So it might have switched to the wrong plan. Okay. If build runner completed and not use cheese response. Did we tell it to say use cheese response? Did we tell it to be true? Reaction. Cheese reaction completed. Ah, there's something missing. There's a mismatch. Okay. What is this? Okay, there's a flag mismatch. So let's go to bot. Self dot. I don't know, is it flag? Cheese. So we have cheese reaction is completed. Is this the only one? So cheese reaction is completed. So cheese reaction completed equals false. So that is actually going to say, so it needs to be cheese reaction is completed equals true. So that means in macro, we need to say this should be cheese reaction is completed. So this is actually not cheese reaction completed. And then this should be else if cheese reaction is completed. Okay, so that should work. Else if cheese reaction is completed. And then we start doing our thing. Okay. So that should better handle the situation. So that was broken. Let's commit that part. You say fix cheese reaction. Redid flag and updated what did we do? We updated the I don't know, the supply count. Okay, so we'll commit these. I'm happy with that. Okay, I think that should handle that. And then we should actually switch out. Interesting, because we do eventually want to switch out of the cheese reaction. Now that I think about it, you actually want to switch out of the cheese reaction. You don't want the cheese reaction to go forever. Because you want us to do the cheese reaction, and after around mid-game, you want to switch to interesting. Because yeah, we don't want to actually stay in the cheese reaction forever. Okay. Maybe we should rethink how this is. Because, okay, so we're like, okay. Because we don't want it to be, we want to be, okay, cheese reaction is completed. So maybe we should actually keep the cheese reaction. Because we don't want to, you don't want to stay cheese reaction forever. You want to switch out it eventually. And we could say switch out on the mid game, which is probably the best time to switch out of a cheese reaction. You handle the early game, and then you switch out of your cheese in the mid game. I can take down this game now. I don't need this. Oh, no. I don't need that. Okay, so let's hit the logic by saying let's actually take a step back and go to combat. Macro reactions. Let's add a new flag. Let's go back to cheese. What is this one? This is use cheese response. So we actually have two flags. This is cheese response and we have cheese reaction. What is this? What does this do? I don't remember doing this. Oh, there's a build, like there's a kind of level of, okay, I'll have to look at this in a bit. So it actually has to use cheese response. Use cheese response. Let's actually bring that back. So we want to have, oh, we do have a use cheese response. We have one. So we have use cheese response and cheese reaction completed. So we need these both. We just need to make the logic work. So we're gonna actually go back to reactions, to macro. And you're gonna go back. We're gonna actually bring this back and go use cheese response. So not use cheese response. And then we'll go in reactions and we'll say cheese occurred. So this is actually should be used cheese response. So we turn the use cheese response to true. So use cheese response is now true. So we did this, and then the build order is complete. We use the cheese response. It's true. If that's true, what ends up happening is in the macro, it's like, oh, if not use cheese response. So if the build order is completed, which it is, but did not use cheese, so if cheese response is false, and this should be then cheese response. If also if cheese use cheese response, and then we're gonna want an if statement that says okay, and not about reaction completed. Yeah, you're gonna want that. because then you're going to want to switch. We can actually simplify this and actually say, oh, we have to kind of figure out. So you want it to not go off if we use the cheese response, but we do want it to be false. You do want it to go off if we did the cheese completed. So if cheese completed is true, okay, hold on, let me think this through. So we could have like a return if cheese completed is no. How do we want to do this logically? Instead of the if statements, we could have just done that. Okay, if cheese is, so you want to have like a waterfall lock responses, because we do want this if cheese reaction is completed. So if we've done cheese reaction, if cheese reaction is completed, we do want to be using this. So you could say if build order is repeated, and not use cheese response. So if we use the cheese response, but you also want it to be like if the cheese response is going, so cheese, you can also have that cheese response is now false. We could, after the it's thing, you turn off cheese response. Cheese response is false. Okay, so you actually could gate it where you have like it switches. Okay. Cheese response. So cheese response is true. This goes there. And then if use cheese response and not cheese response completed, okay, we can do that. Then you can have like a when is the mid game in StarCraft 2? What time stamp is the mid game in StarCraft 2? Is the StarCraft 2? So mid game starts around 6 minutes, roughly. So we could actually have in here if game time is after 6 minutes. It's a little rough, but I think that's a. Oh, we already have something here. Look at this. Oh, we do have something. So the cheese plan goes. So soon after 7 minutes. So if not under attack and bot time is under 7 minutes, So we'd actually do something better here. Instead of doing this, we could actually just switch the switch. And when we say something like else bot dot used cheese reaction, bot dot used cheese response equals false, cheese reaction completed equals true. And we'll say something like switch to the mid game. There we go. I like that. Okay. So essentially what happens is if it's after 7 minutes, I think 7 minutes is a little long. Let's say it's after 6 minutes. Let's say it's after 6. If it's less than 6 minutes, after 6 minutes, probably should be transitioning. So we're like, use cheese response is false. So the cheese response is false. So what happens is cheese response is false. So then it allows here. And that's it, because it's like then build order runner is completed and we're not using the cheese response. Then we go back to our regular build. Perfect. Okay. That becomes more fluid. That is so actually. So we're gonna just commit that. We said reworked cheese response logic gate. Should we test this? Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Let's test this. Couldn't really hurt, I guess, to see what's the best. How can we create the scenarios to test this? Oh, you know what we can do? We can switch the bot to Terran and we can tell it to rush. Let's do that. And we'll see what happens. Switch the, go to the run. These maps are also incorrect. Let's see, what are the maps for this season? So that's Bissell, Reef, AE. That's not Bissell Reef. AIE. Acropolis, AIE. Automaton, AIE. Ephemeron, AIE. Interloper, AIE. Thunderbird, AIE. And then let's switch this to Terran. Let's make this a hard AI. And then rush. And then, okay. Let's see if that give us what we need. Is this in? Okay, this is my development. So while that runs, let's have a little conversation about. I need to code logic. We need to code logic of when is the best time to expand. Like, when is the best time one should expand? Okay, but I think we can. I can think we can pretty much call. I'm pretty confident this cheese logic is complete, but we'll do the test and let's see how this works. Oh, my debug is still turned on. I don't know why that is. I'm gonna just see why the debug is still on. Wait, what map is this? Is it oh, it's not canceling. What's going on, baby? Okay. That's odd. Why did you not react to what strength is this bot? Did it okay, so it does take, it is hard. Let's say very hard then. Maybe we'll need to go to very hard. Let's try very hard. Let's see if that causes it to do what we need it to do. Because we oh, StarCraft just crashed. Let's try. Wait, what map is this? Well, that's cool. I don't know what that is, but okay. Let's see what happens here. So we go off in a scout, and hopefully there will be a reaction. You should cancel it, I hope. Okay, he does cancel it. He doesn't. He's not gonna build a second one, is he? Okay, good. He doesn't build a second cyber core. Good. Wait, did it finish already? It shouldn't have finished. It doesn't look like it's finishing. Oh, that kind of worked. Cool, cool, cool. What's going on though? What are we building? What are we building? Why is it going to High Templars? What is going on? Honestly. So something did not trigger. We do need to do some print statements because we are not. Where are these guys going? Oh, is this because it thinks the build order is complete? Oh, God. Okay, that has to be reviewed again. Oh, goodness. You fix one problem and you run into 10 more. Okay. Why is it trying to build High Templar? What is happening here? You don't even have the expansions. Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay. Let's do some print statements because you need to know what it's thinking. So let's say print standard macro. and then we'll say print cheese reaction. Okay, but we also need it not to do. So we know the cheese reaction. We see that it's switched, so it's like running build order, cheese reaction builds, removing the pylon, removing pylon, and it went to zealot. 21 zealot. What happened here? Something was this like. It's already. Does it complete the build order? Oh, does it complete the build order when it switches? Is that what's causing this problem? Is it completing the build order when it switches? That shouldn't matter though, because we turn on a. Okay, let's go to the reaction. So maybe we should turn on the reaction soon as we switch to the build order. Something is amiss here. Because maybe when it switches build orders. Okay, let's take from the top. Something is amiss. So let's say reactions occur. Guy comes, whatever, we gotta cancel. Okay, so let's go through it. Oh, here's some stuff here. Okay. Okay, so we detect something. If bot meteor gets enemy worker rush. We actually don't have anything specifically. Else if we did this. And we turn on the cheese response here. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I forgot this. So we actually turn on. So if any of these happen, we turn on cheese response. So the threat detection occurs. Oh, okay. Oh my God. My logic gets messed up a bit. So we're like, okay, if we detect any of these things, if any of these things occur, we turn on the cheese response. And if we turn on the cheese response, where do we switch? Let's go back to where we switch the reaction build. Maybe this actually this should actually be not in combat. It actually should be in reactions, but that's for another day. So we run threat detection. This is the early threat sensors. Okay, so early threat detection. Is this running in the bot? Early. Where's early? Early. Okay. So if we're not under attack and the build order the build order is not complete, we're running the early threat detection. When is the regular threat detection running? Oh, threat detection is running all the time. Maybe we should actually only be looking. We should actually not run regular threat detection. Let's make it so that else we're running. So we're running the early threat detection in the beginning, and then else we are running the, oh my god, we're running the other threat detection. So if it's not under attack and the build order is not complete, we're running our early threat detection. And then if we, if we're this is actually an interesting logic. Maybe we should just have it if the build order is not completed. Because if the build order is completed, then we're running regular threat detection. If build order is completed, because I don't think the under attack should matter. I don't remember why I had under attack as part of the logic here. Oh, because also, because if you're under attack, the threat doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to have a threat. So you should actually say, if we're under attack, we no longer need to be looking for it. So we could actually say, instead of else if not under attack, so logic starts off here. Build order is not completed in the beginning, and we're running the early threat sensor. And then once build order is completed, this becomes negated. Then we're running. Now we're only checking if we're under attack. If we're not under attack, we're running the regular detection. We may need to want to change this in the future. So we might want to say to do change parameters in the future when multi squad support is added. Okay, so we'll go with that, and then that works for that. So threat detection is working. Early threat detection. So let's go back here. Early threat detection. I really probably like threat detection probably should be in. It probably like the threat detections, all the threat detections shouldn't be in combat. They actually should be in reactions. And now in hindsight, all these things should be in reactions. What's in combat actually? What's in here? Control main army. That's not it today. I'm not refactoring this today. But realistically, the assess threats, the threat detection, all these. Okay. I'm actually gonna put another to do. Move all threat logics to reactions.py at some point. That is not a today thing. Okay. So we'll move all those reactions at one point. Okay, so we have, let's follow the logic. So early threat detection occurs. So we're doing early threat detection. The bot is checking. So it's like, oh, if there's a Ling Rush, if there's a Marauders, Proxy Zealot, Marine Rush, 4-Gate Rush, all of that, any of that happens, we turn on the cheese response. Which, let's follow the thread. So we turn on cheese response. What happens when we turn on cheese response? If cheese response is true, then what? Cheese response is true. So if self-use cheese response is on, then this happens. Cheese reaction, which is in self. Oh, I see. This logic has gotten unwieldy. So maybe what we should do is just cut out the cheese reaction gate in bot. We should actually maybe cut out cheese reaction gate in bot, and then essentially, if it occurs, so this is why it should actually all be it should actually, so if it occurs, so we're like, okay, if this is true, wait, does this stay true though? What closes this else if? Oh, I know what closes it, because then the oh, that's the problem, because if we because if what I think is correct, and I don't know if this is true, when does the so build order gets completed here, but it also got completed here. I don't think the build order sets to complete. Let's check the status of the build order while the cheese response is running. How do we do that? You could actually say self.build order completed and then just print it out, and then we'll find out if it's actually completed, because if it's not completed when the build is happening, then it's good. What is this here? Man, this is not supposed to be here too. What is this? Oh, that is right. The logic has gotten a little unwieldy. Okay, so let's do a bit of experimentation. Let's say if self-use cheese logic, and then print printf print nope, where's the squiggly? So it's a self dot build order. Can we see the build order status? We'll say check if build order status is completed. Let's see what happens when we print this. Like if it says false, that would be good. Does that, wait, no, that doesn't activate it. Let's go to the areas framework. Build runner. How do we check? Okay, this actually tests to see if it's completed or not, so we can actually see if it's false, if it's completed. So we'll and I should spam it, so we'll see right away. So if it's not completed, we know if we switch cheese to cheese reaction, it actually doesn't set it to complete, which is good. So we don't want it to be complete. We want it to still be going. And the worst part is we haven't even tackled our main goal. So I think we're going to set this solution. I'm going to go straight to our main goal because it's late. Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay. So build order is false during this time. That's good. That is what we want. We want it to be false. So even though it changes to a cheese reaction, the build order runner is not completed. So we can still use the build order as not completed as a gate, which is what we want to do. Okay. Okay, so we'll use the build order not completed as a logic gate, so we can maybe simplify some of this stuff. I feel like maybe I should use my AI to solve this, but so many moving parts. Okay. Okay, so we're on step. So for not under attack and the build order is not completed, do the early threat. So once build order is completed, you know, once build order is completed, this becomes false, and then it starts checking as long as we're not under attack. It's just doing the regular enemy threat detection. Good. Okay, so we probably could do like we could probably do a big, like, if build order not completed, do all this stuff. You could probably put like, okay, there's a couple stuff we can do here. We could maybe put one big, if build order is not completed, do all this. If it's, so it would be like, if build order is not completed, no, but we actually want this to be outside of that. Let's leave this for now. So maybe we want to say something like, yeah, so we can actually do something like, let's do a big if not, or if, so we go like if self dot build runner, if not self dot build oh my god, I cannot see build order runner builds completed. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to actually move this all in. We're actually get rid of this. We're actually going to get rid of this. We're actually going to move yes, you're right. We're going to get rid of this. You're correct. But I need to also go else. Oh, hold on. Girl, what are you doing? So like that. And then there. And then we actually get rid of this. Okay. There you go. So if the build render is not completed, we're gonna want to first check if it's or an early attack. Oh my god, what are these responses? You're gonna want to first check, okay, for not under attack, threat detection. If we use she's response, if cheese reaction, okay. So once the build order is completed, all this stuff gets turned off, which is good. Yeah, you want that. And you want to use the main threat detection once build order is completed. So build order can be like a one big main gate for a lot of the early game stuff. So early game stuff is all under as long as the build order is not completed. So as long as it's not completed, build order is running. Got it. So if we're not under attack, do early threat detection. Easy enough, easy peasy. One could actually say we could probably do else ifs here, because if we're not under attack, we need to be looking for it. No, we don't want to. Sorry, we don't want to turn off the threat. We don't want to be checking for. Yeah, you don't want to kill this. So never mind. That's not relevant. So, okay. So the build order is not done, and if the cheese reaction response is turned on, we then turn to cheese reaction, which turns on here, which switches the build order to cheese reaction, which is what you want. Cancels any town hall running, and then it just keeps running. We actually probably don't need this here. But how do we want to do this? Because this will actually get locked off now because we have added this this gate here. Soon as it's done, it will soon, because we don't have a way to say that we use the cheese response or the cheese response is finished. There's no real way to turn off the cheese response. There's no real good way to turn off cheese response or say that we use the cheese response. Or the cheese response is completed, because it will all end. As soon as build order is completed, it locks out all this stuff here and nothing runs anymore. It would get everything. Yeah, everything will get locked. We could actually say something like, so if build order is completed and if use cheese response, we can then we could actually do a little check in here. We could be like, oh, else you know, if we use cheese response, turn it on. It could be like if self dot. Oh, but we turn off the cheese response at some point. Oh god. Oh, this has gotten complicated. Okay, let's follow this logically. We use cheese reaction. We switch cancel, and we'll need to change this flag later. So we do the cheese reaction. We switch the build order. Does the build order. So then we go back to the bot. When does this? When does the bot check? So we use cheese reaction. Build order is not completed. Cheese reaction goes, and it's like, oh, blah 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 blah. And so once it switched cheese reaction's done, bot's completed. And now we're what? Handling macro? maybe we actually shouldn't be handling macro until what? Until the build order is completed, right? You should probably wait to handle macro when build order is completed. So we'll go handle macro. And in the macro place, we're checking. Here we are. So none of the macro places start until build order is completed. So we don't need this. We don't need this build order is completed anymore because it doesn't. None of this starts if there's no until the build order is not completed. Okay, so if not, bot use cheese response. Okay, so what we need is a gate. That determines which one of the macros we've switched to. So we need to somehow turn on use cheese response. So we could probably put, and this is going to make it a little complicated, but we can maybe ask AI to simplify the logic a little bit better later. And so what we could do something like, okay, so we have this threat detection, and it's like, okay, so after build order is completed, and we can say something like, okay, if self dot used or use cheese response. So if we did use the cheese response after the build order is completed, we can then go something like self dot cheese reaction equals true, so it's completed, and then we can just turn off cheese response to false. There's no reason for it, so we don't have to. So we turn on the completed, turn off the false. Okay, so that kind of solves that problem. So soon as the build order is completed, this shuts down, and then it says, oh wait, did we use the cheese response? If not, then it's like, whatever, it continues doing whatever it's doing. If we did use the cheese response, we turn on the flag that says, hey, we finished cheese reaction. It's done because the build order is completed. And then we turn off the cheese response because we don't want to keep trying to trigger this. So cheese response reaction equals completed. And then now we're going to the macro, and then we're like, okay, so we're like, okay, okay. Oh, so maybe we need to think about how this is. Okay, so we actually can keep. We'll need to keep it. We'll have to. Okay, so we'll actually keep the cheese. We'll take this off. So we won't close if choose cheese response. We will. So if the build order is completed. Oh, this is weird though, because we need to switch to the build order reaction, and the build order can't be completed when we're switching to the build order reaction because we're still. No, it's building. So build order is done. Completes the build order. And then cheese reaction is completed equals true. Oh, we might have a problem. Maybe this is why it's not working properly. It's just my logic's so messed up. Okay, so build order, we switch. Build order is not completed. We're not under attack. We're checking for early threats. And then if we turn on cheese response, which gets turned on, we then start using the cheese reaction. Cheese reaction turns on because we're using the cheese reaction. We're running cheese response. So cheese response gets done. Okay, so let's change how this works. So reaction happens, cheese reaction. We turn on the cheese reaction. It goes on. We cancel, we switch the build order runner. Build order runner runs its course. And then build order finishes. So then the build order finishes. It's no longer looking for these stuff. And then what happens? Then it's like, okay, if we use the cheese runner, cheese reaction, stop auto correcting. So if we use the cheese response, which we did, we actually don't want to say cheese reaction completed. Actually, we don't want to do this either. So maybe we don't want to do any of these. So we don't want to do any of those. We actually want to go start, because then the reaction is done. We're doing macro. So we go into the macro, and the macro is like, did we use the cheese response? So if we didn't use the cheese response, goes straight to using standard macro. If this is false, so that means we did use cheese response, then we're like, okay, so this actually needs to go to. So that will be, so, oh, these else's could go. So we can actually do this, get rid of these else's. And we actually turn this into an else. Actually, we'll leave this as an else if, because at some point I actually do want to add a, I want to say else. So we can actually go else, and then we do the rest. So we're like, okay, actually else. We just do whatever happens, and we're like, okay, we're doing a cheese reaction. And we actually don't need this print because I know I'm going to go there. And so we're like, okay, if we didn't use the cheese response, da 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 da. So it's like, okay, da da da, does all that stuff. And so if it's not under, oh, I do need that else. Where'd that go? Okay. Okay. But we can turn this back to an else. Else. We go all through all this stuff, and then it's like, you know, is it under 6 minutes? Is it under 6 minutes? It's like, yes, it's under 6 minutes. Okay. It's under 6 minutes. Da 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 da. And then it's like, okay, no, it's no longer 6 minutes. We can actually turn off the cheese response. We can turn it to false, and the cheese reaction gets turned to true. So we could actually maybe say, or cheese reaction. We don't want this to go if the cheese reaction is turned on. So cheese reaction is gone. Bam. Cheese reaction is done. So what happens once the cheese reaction is done? What happens? So So we go through all this, do no longer do this. We're going through the macro. Then in the macro, we're like, okay, well, did we use a cheese response? Did the cheese response happen? So cheese response is false. So if cheese response is false, so okay, so if we didn't use the cheese response, you go straight into the regular macro bill. If you did use the cheese response, so cheese response is true, so you actually don't want to change, we don't want to change it back to false. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's true. So at the done, we could just say cheese response is false, so we're no longer doing the cheese response. So cheese response is, hold on, so not cheese response. So if the cheese response is false, so if it's not true that we're using cheese response right now, we switch to the macro. And then it's done, and then we turn cheese response to false. Okay. So then we're like, okay, cheese response is done. We turn the cheese response to false. So since we're no longer doing a cheese response, then we can, okay, so it should work out. Because then we're like, okay, now you can go back to doing normal. This reaction is probably not actually needed. We probably don't need to say, we don't have to check if the cheese reaction is completed, but it might be good to just have that it's done. And it's good to just say, I would say print reaction completed. You can maybe use that flag somewhere else. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, we kind of want to see what happens now. And then we actually wanted to tackle the real problem for today. Let's see if we'll actually get a chance to. Okay, so then it cancels it. Detects a marine rush. Is this still building the cyber core? Is it still building the cyber core? And then it builds a shield battery. I actually don't know. Where's the zealot? Oi. Oh my. Where's the zealot? What is going on? Oh. Oh, we are supply blocked. Okay. So we're supply blocked. I don't know how that ever happened. Are we missing something from this? Oh, auto supply is missing. All of these are missing auto supply. Supply. Okay, well, Maybe this auto supply is really low. Maybe I shouldn't be. After zero supply, turns auto supply on. Can I just, if I just say zero and it just like runs auto supply forever? After zero supply, turn auto supply on. How does that, can I just turn auto supply? Auto supply. Use constant. Can I just turn on auto supply like permanently? Automatically handles build supply structures after the supply set. Enables supply in your build order at a specific supply count. This example turns on auto supply after 17, so you no longer need to declare supply structures in your building. Oh, maybe it should be oh, it actually needs to be lower, maybe. Just maybe auto supply after zero. Actually, sorry. Let's I see. Let's auto supply after zero. Just handle auto supply zero. So then it's gonna auto supply no matter what. And that should actually handle the supply. Let's see how this goes again. You know what? I guess it's good that we did the test. If we didn't do the test, this would have been problematic if we ran into this situation again. Oh, I love this song.
Like a light lighting up in the dark. You make it right. I forgot how to act. It's so classic.
Okay. It's gone and he's gone to scout. I'm gonna go build an. Okay. Cancels. What happened here? What's going on? It's just stopped building. Why did it stop building? Yeah, something is wrong. It's just getting stuck. Oh, okay. Let's try this again. Let's try 20. Let's try again. This was supposed to be about expanding, and I ended up getting caught into the weeds. Got into the weeds of okay, cancels. Good. Built a zealot. Where are you going? Okay. 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 Okay, that worked. It's building again. It's so weird that it got stuck before. Okay, the attack is right now a little broken. Okay, though the reaction stuff is working. The attack right now, the attack parameters are causing a hell of a pain. We'll have to figure that in a second. Oh, but it's still kind of working. Just have to make sure we don't run off and attack on our own. Okay. Okay. Not the best reaction, but it's not also not the worst. What happened to what happened to Warp Gate? Oh, we did learn Warp Gate. Okay, it's good. Okay. And then I guess it's gonna go win by itself now. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out that attack problem. Okay. Why is he getting a robotics bay? Why is he getting a robotics bay? It's not after 6 minutes. Now it's switched to standard macro, but why? It's not. Cheese reaction, cheese reaction, cheese reaction. And then reaction is completed, and then they went to standard macro. Why? Why did it go to standard macro? It wasn't less than 6 minutes. Why does it say standard macro here? Oh, it does here. Standard macro. Then cheese reaction. So I see now why it switched, because the there's a go cheese reaction, cheese reaction. We're not under attack. And then as long as it's under 6 minutes. So it's like, as long as we're not under attack and it's under 6 minutes. So once we're above 6 minutes. So what if we are under attack? If it's true that we're under attack. Does it automatically skip? So maybe we should say if it's under 6 minutes. Because that's just an else. Yeah. So we'd be like, as long as it's under 6 minutes. Okay. That should maybe handle that situation. So as long as it's under 6 minutes, once it's after 6 minutes, then you can switch to whatever. And that should. Okay. And then we have to figure out the logic around attacking. Something has put this the logic of attacking. Okay, let's tackle the expansion. I'm gonna say that we did do the cheese reaction. Okay, let's talk to our bot for a second. Let's talk to Claude and say, let's talk about how expansion works. Oh, we're doing cheese reaction. What's happening? Yeah, that toggle's a little out to lunch. But we just kind of, we do want to watch, because they should actually stay at the main base. Especially if a cheese responses happen, they shouldn't be attacking. But we will keep an eye on this for a sec, guys, because I need to see if after 6 minutes, if it will switch back to a standard reaction. Why is it adding proportions? Something is up. So I did just see it say it's adding proportions. See that? Okay, all right, that's fine. That's actually okay. So after 6 minutes, it should switch to. So yeah, we actually want to take a defensive posture here. Huh, it actually ran back. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out how it assesses army strength. That would actually solve that problem really quickly. Look how aggressive it's gotten. Relax. But it is spending, so this is, oh, that's so bad. Oh my god, that's so bad. You got yourself so wrecked. Let's see after all we need to see is we need to watch Mixer after 6 minutes whether or not it will keep. So after 6 minutes, it should switch to switch. All right, macro. Okay, good. That's what you want. This gas is accumulated a lot. Okay, that's fine though. We're good. It switches as it's supposed to. That needs a little bit of fine tuning, but it's okay for now. Let's say, okay, let's ask Claude and say, let's give it this rework cheese response logic. I'm good with that. Let's say that was there. .py combat macro reactions, and then we'll say something like updated opponent rush there. Okay, and where do we keep our macro? Let's go, it'll be in macro. So let's say in macro we want to explore and understand when is the best time to respond. So in handle macro, we have an expansion component to help for the bot to decide for the to tell bot to expand, but we want to make it more robust, responding to the actual situation. In StarCraft 2, what lead indicators are used to expand, and how can we use something similar and flex, not just flexible, something reactionary to the time, something that simpler, something similar, and we can observe in the game to control the expansion of our bot. Don't make it. I just want you to explain it, girl. I'll help you make the expansion. Let's get expansion. Resource saturation. Okay. Based on examination of the current expansion system, I can see that the bot is using a simple base trigger for expansion. After 3 minutes after an attack, let me suggest more robust lead indicator expansion timing. In StarCraft 2, professional players and AI bots use several indicate resource saturation. So when current base are approaching optimal worker saturation, we already know that. Bank size. When mineral gas reserves are accumulating beyond immediate needs. Supply ratio, current supply versus maximum supply. Army strength relative components. Map control. I don't know how you're gonna keep an eye on map control. Game phase timing. Different matchups have different standard timings. Enemy expansion status, reacting to the opponent expansions. I propose a more robust expansion system for your bot that uses several key indicators from professional play rather than just a simple time base. Worker saturation. The bot checks if the current base are approaching optimal workers. When saturation reaches 80%, it considers expanding. If minerals exceed 500, minerals exceed 500, the bot considers this excess resources that can be invested in expansions. Added safety nets to ensure the bot doesn't fall behind on expansion. Forces expand at 5 minutes and 8 minutes. That's good because that's like the mid game and late game. Interesting. Army strength. If the bot tracks the army strength to ensure it has sufficient defense before expanding. Interesting. Instead of always targeting 3 bases, it now aims for a minimum 3 current base plus 1, ensuring smoother transition. Safety checks. Adds a safety mechanism to prevent risky expansions when the bot has very little army or a single base. Oh, what did you say? Should expand. So it's like check if we have enough to defend. Expansion. Worker saturation equals 0. There's actually there's a saturation method you could check if there's saturation. I'm not gonna use this, but there's a lot of stuff that we can pick from here. So it's like if expansion design decision lock not under attack. So obviously if we're not under attack, probably maybe you don't want to expand. Maybe you do want to expand if you're under attack. I don't think maybe being under attack is not the indicator to stop. So so let's see how our era's stuff does expansions. So what we can do here in an expansion controller is that we can just use some sort of indicator, and that expansion control number, the count, can just go up depending on that indicator. So once that indicator is reached or whatever, so let's say we start off in the macro, handle macro, and we're like, okay, if not use cheese response. What does it say? Do go like self dot expansion count equals 3. So just say, sorry, it doesn't have to be self dot expansion. We just say expansion count equals 3. And then we can just say this. So the expansion controller is to count expansion count. Okay, easy peasy. Same thing with the chi. No, we'll leave it as a static 3. Then we need a mechanism we don't need this, so we don't have to check if we're under attack. Actually, we'll leave it. You never know what. So it's after 3 minutes. We can do a check. We can do some sort of check that looks for something. And then each time we'll just increase the expansion count. So we're like, okay. We actually don't need to worry about being under attack, because I don't think being under attack is going to be one of those things that's like, okay. Let's take off being under attack, because that may not be an indicator that we need to care about too much. Just after 3 minutes. What are some of the things? Saturation. So worker saturation. So if we reach a certain saturation, then, you know, we can go over each base and then see if we hit the saturation. Okay. That's one way of doing it. Now we actually have we're looking right here to count Len equals Len bot town halls, and we're searching actually to see, you know, what the build worker count is. So we're going over each build, we're going over each you go over each town hall, we go over each town hall. And if it equals that, then you just go, oh, okay, we could go +1. It could be simple as that. If you hit saturation, we could do, let's do that. So let's say something like, we can go for each town hall. So something like, what actually, how does it go? So it actually went over army. So it says total workers equals Len. It's not 60, it's actually 22. So if not, but under attack. If worker saturation is greater than 0.8 current base nearby base, so it does like a check if the I kind of like the saturation. We could use saturation as a pretty good indicator, and it just keeps expanding. Huh. Oh, we can also check if our resources are low. That's a good something too as well. But we could probably just look at saturation. Let's just use saturation for now. We'll use saturation as the method. And if the base is expanded, or we'll check over each base. And then if it hits saturation, so we say once, maybe we can say something like, if expansion count what do you want to say? We want to say if the amount of town halls we have equals if bot dot town halls amount, is it completed? Amount ready? Is it town halls ready dot amount? Whoops, what was that? Equals expansion count. Then so once the town halls equals the expansion count, you're gonna want to, we don't have to do +1. We need a little bit more logic than that. We're gonna want to check something. So let's say what's Python SC2? Python SC2. Let's see if there's anything to be learned in there. So you might want to check if there's a way to just check the saturation. If there's something like really easy to just know the saturation of the bot, to know the saturation of so it's not, we don't have to do anything complicated. Let's share that. I'll share this with you so we can, oh, it comes up perfect. Let's see if I can put this up easy. Oh my god. No, why won't anything be easy? Let's put it here. There we go. Much easier. Okay. Maybe there's something like game data. Maybe we can find something for saturation. Saturation. What might be something to use? Not saturation. Maybe something like minerals. So maybe we can find out how much our mineral patches. You can maybe go over all our mineral patches and see what our total mineral patches are. If we're running low on resources, if resources are, so that might be something you want to go over each resource, go over each mineral patch and count how many mineral patches in their total mineral patch. That could be one way to do it. We check over, we're like, okay, well, how much minerals do we have? Ah, there's a mineral exhausted. Interesting. So that's an alert, so we don't want that. We don't need that. You don't need that. Okay. Game info. Resources? No. Gas? No. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's try it. Mineral. Ah. Mineral fields. Check if the unit is a mineral field. Lols. Can we get like the properties of the mineral field? So we can say, we can actually look for return all units that are mineral fields. Returns units that are closest in the distance, for example. So we can actually check all our minerals. And we say if our minerals are running low, or if we've mined 50% of our minerals, in any one of our patches. So we check, so we can do a gate that says, okay, have we hit our maximum? Have we hit our count? And then we're like, okay, if we've hit our count, then we say, you know, are we 50% using all, have we used all our have we used up part of our minerals, right? Go do a check around all our bases, do a quick check around all our bases, and then see if we've used up 50% of all our resources. Like, you know, have we used up 50% of our resources? If we have, no, because then you don't want it to, because then how does that work if one of the, because once you've used up, maybe we need to calculate what is the optimum amount of resources we should be drawing. That would be, actually, that would be the best idea, because we can figure out what is the optimum amount of resources being gathered equal to the amount of bases we have. That would actually be the best thing, because then we can check, are we drawing the most efficient amount of resources gathered equal to the amount of bases that we have? And if the answer is no, then we expand. And I think that makes the most sense, because you're like, okay, how many resources are we gathering? What is the gathering of our resources? Now, this completely depends on whether or not we are, and this means we don't have to check our enemy, we don't have to do any of that stuff. We just need to know what is our resource counts? How much resources are we drawing? Like, how efficient is our bot gathering resources? And so what we need is some sort of game data that can tell us, I don't know, because like I know the game has it in the replays, so you can actually see how much resources you're collecting. But does the API tell us how much resources we're collecting? Now, the thing is, I don't know what I'd be looking for. So we're gonna have to kind of go through all this stuff and see if there's something that says, hey, this is effect data. This is what you need. That's all client stuff. Calculate costs, supply costs, unit value, can cast, can feed. What does this do? Can checks if you have enough free supply to build a unit. Interesting. Can place single chat. Oh, we can also check Ares framework. Ares might have something too. We'll check this, and then we'll check if the Ares framework has something. Terrain heights in map bounds is visible on before. On step, unit created, destroy, unit damage. Select build worker, start location, build progress, tech requirements. Unit created. Okay, let's check Ares framework. It's maybe where Python SC2 falls short, Ares will prevail. Let's maybe check in the not build runners, APIs. On start, on end. We still should check Scython. Scythian. on construction on end, on unit created, on unit damage, register maneuver, structure pending, unit pending. Manager meteors. Okay, here's some stuff. Gas climber grid, defensive grid, flyers. Was greedy. Oh, mineral target dict. This position is used for speed mining, useful for making sure workers is moved to the right of the mineral. Not useful at all. Get an available mineral field. An available mineral field is one. Get the number of available mineral fields. An available. Oh, this only checks if it's interesting. That might be useful if we want to say, you know, if the mineral fields is less than 0, it's not saturated. So get an available mineral field is one that is near town hall that has fewer than 2 assigned workers. So you could say something like, okay, if mineral fields that are available equals 0, then we expand. That could be a very simple, clean way of doing it. We were like, okay, if the mineral fields near, check how many mineral fields we have, and if they are 0, if the amount is 0, then we expand. Not bad. Get the expansions. First element is location. This get own expansions. This could be useful. Get own expansions. Returns a list of tuples where the first element is the location of the base. The second element is the pathing distance from our main base. Oh, not very useful. Get own structures, get own tree. Map array. Get the whole map. Get worker to mineral patch. Get a dictionary of containing worker tag to mineral patch. A dictionary where the key is worker to show the mineral tag. This is what a dictionary of workers. Okay, so you just do like a how many workers we have, not necessarily. We get how many workers are on Vespian gas. Interesting. Get behind mineral position. What is that? Useful for building structures out of typical cannon range. That's maybe not what we want. Is position safe? Oh, give all units in a role. Set worker per gas. Give all units in a role a different role. Number of workers assigned to each gas building. Oh, that's not very useful. This way we can select one assigned for our mineral patch. Make sure to change the worker role once selected. That's not useful. Is position safe? Okay, maybe we should just. Okay, let's see if the Scython extension has anything for us. Kit bounding box. Yeah, no, none of these are gonna be what we need. Maybe we can ask our AIs and see if they might know something. In the Eris framework or Python SC2, is there anything that we could use to give us used to check mineral saturation or amount of minerals mined or minerals remaining or total resource income. We'll see what it comes up with. While it's searching. Okay. Oh, okay. We're running out of time. Okay, we're out of time. I think it's a good time to end it. And we can pick this up next week. I don't see. It's still searching. We'll let it search for a bit while. Mineral. Oh, ideal harvesters. Returns the ideal harvester count for unit. It's 3 for gas and for the mineral patch on that base. Oh, this could be useful. This is a property. Ideal harvesters. Returns the ideal harvester count for unit. 3 for gas buildings. 2 times for the mineral patch on that base. And then we can be like, okay, we can check. So we can check if there's a ideal harvesters. We could do this. And then we could maybe okay. Mineral returns the amount of minerals remaining in a mineral field. Okay, we can. Okay. Does this also work for a geyser? Okay, we could do this for geyser and minerals. We can like do something that says, hey, you know, we figure out what the optimum amount of minerals and geysers are. I think our AI may have come to the same conclusion that we did. But we could actually use something. We could do something where we look over the amount of minerals. What is it proposing? So I've implemented a more robust expansion system that leverages the area's framework of resource management capability, makes smarter expansions. Here's how it's improved the system. The code now directly accesses the resource manager through the manager get worker to mineral patch dictionary, which tells us exactly how many workers are assigned to the mineral patch. This gives us a precise measurement of mineral saturation rather than rely on rough estimates. Calculates the optimum amount of workers per mineral line for each. Computes the actual mineral saturation percentage to determine when the bases are approaching optimal mining efficiency. Mineral expands when the bases reach 80% saturation, considers expanding when the minerals exceed 500. Forces expansion by 5 minutes. Army safety check prevents risky early expansions. Debugging added in a detailed logging of mineral saturation. What do we got here? So here's like expansion count equals 3. It's like determine if we should expand. I want to see this. I don't want to. If I go apply, will it just So I want to see how it works. And this little window is too small. So it's like mineral saturation should expand. Mineral workers equals 0. Bot.mediator manager request. I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how that works, but I can maybe guide it. So then it goes total mineral workers, len worker to mineral dictionary. And then it goes bot.minerals. Does that actually tell you anything? Oh, how many minerals we have if we have over 500 minerals. If not under attack and not under saturation is 0.8. Mineral time. Excess minerals after early game. Bought that time is 5. Should expand is true. What does that even do when it says should expand? How are you deciding when to expand? I see. So if bot ready amount equals, if town hall's ready amount equals expansion count, I'm gonna actually get it to maybe reorient this. So let's actually maybe reorient this and say, actually, we have an expand. So close. So you're on the right track. Couple of things. We have expansion controller. So we have an expansion controller which handles the expanding of the bot. And what we need to do is actually, when we hit a certain threshold, increase the variable expansion count up by 1, and that's how we expand. So whatever we do in the system checks our current situation and then increases the variable to control the expansion. As for that worker dictionary, I don't think that works the way you think it works. Oh, and I need to end this. But I'm so engrossed because I think workers. Workers. Select a worker via the resource manager. This can no, we need to yeah. We need something that kind of check our own Okay, we will have to pick this up next time. I think this is a... We'll leave this for now. But I will send this to... So I kind of liked where it was going with that solution. I'll let it propose its edits, so I might adopt it depending on what it decides. So it says da da da. If not saturation, checks over the town halls. Excess minerals. This is not actually taking gas into consideration. Which makes it 22. So it's like if not under attack, mineral saturation is greater than 8. Expansion count equals current bases plus 1. Current bases plus 1. How did you get current bases? I don't think you want to do current basis because you're gonna want it to just up the count, because you don't want to do current basis because, like, what if a base gets destroyed? I guess that maybe you do want it. If a base gets destroyed, you want to actually bring it down and just expand one at a time. Because then you can just increase the max pending to be 2. So if the base gets destroyed, or if it's behind, it can, really kind of. Okay, maybe we'll play around with that a bit. I'm not against this solution it proposed, but I'm not fully on board how it implemented everything here. Like, I like this part here. Maybe I'll just implement it in and then review. So it's like, let's see what it did here. This workers minerals dictionary thing is not a correct thing. What if I say, okay, let's reject this for a sec and say, actually, let me check. We could do a check like, and what we want for saturation is 22, because we are also taking gas into consideration. So if I like this, I'll keep it, and then I'll review it upon next time. How are you getting? Okay, I think I will take this solution. I will take this solution and review it. And see if it works, because I kind of like it. This is kind of what I'm looking for. and then we can test this next week or later on or whatever. Okay, let's see what happens. It's a good place to end it. Okay. Whew. So that was that was an exhausting session, and actually I didn't get a chance to commit that, but we'll say actually we won't commit it because I have to inspect it still. But yeah, that's this week. Next week or whenever we'll be working on figuring out the attack, and then we'll be also figuring out, if I haven't already solved the expansion, we'll figure out the expansion and we'll figure out the attack. Okay. Yeah. I'm super hungry, super tired. See you next week. Let's get to do some more coding. We'll make this bot win. Peace.